It is 7 o'clock on February 27th, 2020. The regular board meeting of the Vernon Hills Park Board of Commissioners. Could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Baloo? Commissioner Moline?
Here.
Commissioner Robbins?
Here.
Commissioner Kessler?
Here.
President Dorhofer?
Here, if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda this evening is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and/or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote and voted on separately. Items included in the omnibus vote agenda for this evening are the minutes of the regular board meeting dated January 16th, 2020, minutes of the special board meeting dated January 28th, 2020, and the payables less Granger and payroll through February 27th in the amount of $1,011,214.39. Could I have a motion to approve the omnibus vote agenda?
So, second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is financial report for the period ending January 31st, 2020. Marla, any changes in the financial reports?
No.
And they are on file?
As is. Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the welcome to visitors and guest public comment period. Is there anybody that'd like to address the board before we get into our special events here tonight? I would like to award our community service awards. First for Bobo's Gyros out of Vernon Hills. Tom Rizzo, could you meet me at the podium, please? Let's make sure we give you the right one. Bobo's Gyros has been a partner with the Vernon Hills Park District over the past 8 years. In 2012, the district was going through a change in concession vendors at the Family Aquatic Center, and the opportunity to work with a local Vernon Hills business presented itself. Ever since, they have provided us with quality food and service at the Family Aquatic Center and worked with us to provide camp lunch program for hundreds of families. In addition, Bobo's has been very supportive of other Park District programs and events, which include providing complimentary ice cream at our outdoor park meetings, discounted food items at special events, and grilling up lunch at an outdoor staff meeting. On behalf of the Illinois Association of Park Districts and the Illinois Park Rec Association, we would like to present this Community Service Award to Bobo's Gyros. Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
I would like to thank the board and everybody at the Park District, and we're really proud to be part of this community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If I could have the pageant queens and the group and everybody else come on up here. Who are you? You guys need to be in front, I need to be in back. You're the beauties, I'm not sure what I am.
The beast. It doesn't go.
So we have current and past?
We do,
Come on up, come on up. You're not out of this yet.
You want to have them introduce themselves?
I'm going to
Okay, there you go.
take this off. If you could just introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about you.
Treadmills next to
Hi, my name is Jasmine Wasco, and I'm your little Miss Vernon Hills, and I love this community so much. Thank you.
Jump back and follow.
What? Kieran Kalinowski.
Hi, I'm Victoria Berta, Junior Miss Vernon Hills, and like Jasmine said, we really love coming to all these events and supporting the community.
Hello, I'm Valerie Berta, Miss Vernon Hills 2019. I actually transferred to Vernon Hills High School this semester, and something that I really missed was how open the community is and how we're all willing to help each other and all be there for each other. So I'm glad to be back a part of the Vernon Hills School District.
Hi, I'm Haley Kalinowski, and I'm Junior Miss Lake County 2019. I just love being a part of Vernon Hills and this community.
I'm Linnea Gutierrez, and I'm Preaching Miss Vernon Hills 2017, and I'm really happy to be here. Hi, my name is Masson Shirello, and I first started the Vernon Hills pageant in 2011, where I was Little Miss Vernon Hills and Little Miss Lake County, and then in 2017 I got to be Junior Miss Vernon Hills 2017, and it was the most amazing experience, and I'm so grateful for the Vernon Hills pageant.
And I'm Kelly O'Brien. I don't have my sash on today, but I was Miss Vernon Hills in 2013 and then Miss Lake County in 2014. And now I get to serve with Karen as one of the directors for the Vernon Hills pageant.
I was not any Vernon Hills queen. Let's just put that out there. Haley's mom, Karen Kalinowski. Kelly and I are now the new directors of the Vernon Hills pageant. We want to thank the board for all your support and everything you do for the girls and for the pageant itself. We really, really appreciate it.
Over the last several years, the Vernon Hills pageant queens have become very involved with the special events that the Vernon Hills Park District offers. The pageant queens are present at many events and are always eager to help when needed. They help with things such as event check-in, handing out promotional items, presenting awards, scooping ice cream, being Santa's helpers, and overall representing our community in a way that we could all hope for. These young women have always showed up with a big smile and ready to give back to their community. Although there are new queens every year, the pageant organizations consistently provides help however they can. We would like to thank all of you for everything you've done for us and for the community. We'd also like to recognize the pageant co-chairs, Karen Kalinowski and Kelly O'Brien. On behalf of the Illinois Park Association of Park Districts and the Illinois Parks and Rec Association, we would like to present this Community Service Award to the Vernon Hills pageant queens. Ladies.
Dave, how about Dave? You should come to Cheryl. I'll let you.
Come on.
The 12th.
Can we, Cheryl, can we get the rest of the board in with a group? I really do. I think it would be.
In the back. I don't have a crown.
We can do a Mrs. Vernon.
Haley went to preschool here with Peyton. One closest to us. Yeah.
Wow.
And now she's going to high school, just like Peyton.
Wow.
She is the mother of the one and her sister right next
So
door.
they're on camera right here.
Two birds and
Yeah, you
Here.
I don't know the co-chair, the blonde on the right. I don't know her. Oh, they're sparkling. She looks like she'd be. They're also photogenic. They must be clean.
You must have done this before.
You taken a picture before?
Yes.
Board, while you're up here, Tom, very much. Girls,
Yeah, if I didn't mean, like,
no, girls can move. Picture with the whole board.
I was gonna say, not me. He's like, Tom, I'm like, I just wrote the script.
Yeah, Dave go on one side. Yeah, 2 and 2. That'd be great.
I think tomorrow again. Only a week.
That's very nice.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
But and maybe I guess it's more important as yours doesn't move where maybe mine was supposed to. I don't know. I'll trust our doctors. You go to
Next item on the agenda is unfinished business, seeing as we have none. Move to committee reports and communication. Executive Director Jeff Fuscher. Jeff.
Thank you. Just a few things I wanted to. I think I addressed this last month as well. Just wanted to congratulate Commissioner Kessler and Commissioner Ballou for their recent recognition at the IAPD annual meeting for getting those master board member recognition. So congratulations on that, and also Commissioner Robbins, who got a distinguished nomination and recognition for the IAPD for your service as board members and in the community. As you know, the skate park, if you haven't seen it, we've removed the what was the old and existing skate park, and so that's all wide open now, and the scheduled activity should begin the first week in March with Evergreen Skate Park coming into town and setting up just a staging area, and then they'll start doing some excavation sometime in the first week in March. And so that project is kicking off. It is a couple days before our annual craft beer event, so Saturday, February 29th. Hopefully we'll see some of the board members there if you can make that out. We've got a good turnout in advance, so we're excited about that. We met with residents from Beaver Creek Park a couple weeks ago, just to basically highlight some of the changes that we have occurring at Beaver Creek with some of the recent clearing that we did. Rick Roja, our Parks Foreman, James Kim, our Park Superintendent, both attended the meeting. We were able to just provide some updated information about what's going on at that park, and it'll be, once the weather breaks in kind of late spring, early summer, when we'll be able to get back in there and start to see some pretty good progress on that. And then lastly, I think the board is all apprised of just the upcoming village board meeting on March 3rd that we would appreciate if any of the board members could attend that meeting to the committee a whole, where the village will be discussing the Gardner School project advancement. That's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Jeff? All right, we are going to deviate a little bit. We're going to go back to the welcome to visitors guests. I understand we've got someone who'd like to address the board. If you could go up to the podium, please. State your name and address for the record.
Janet Kellett, 190 Brandywine, Vernon Hills. I live off Cynthia Peterson Park.
Yes.
In fact, I look out on the park. I was here last month, but you changed the meeting. So this seems sort of a moot point at this point, but I wanted to complain about the snow removal. We've had a lot of accidents. I don't know if I should say a lot, but quite a few accidents with people. And the problem is primarily the ice removal. We know that you're removing snow, although we would love to see it on weekends, because not just two past snowstorms this year, but last year too. There was no snow removal in our area on weekends, and sometimes the snow would build up. And by Monday, we've been dealing with it all weekend, and then by Monday, it's really difficult to get it clean because sometimes it's iced over. I should say too, I've been here 30 plus years in my home, and I walk all the time in the park. I'm year-round walker. I know a lot of the people that walk in the park. There's a lot of griping because we've had people, I don't know people's last names, but I'm going to throw out a few. Maria, who lives on Chatham, 3 doors down from Greenleaf, fell on an ice patch, and she had 5 stitches. Judy Rope, who lives on Cumberland, fell. Pretty drastic. I had to get George from maintenance, who was out by the tennis courts, come help me get her up. She totally could not breathe. She's about 70-something with a hip injury. Natasha on Greenleaf fell. She now has a young man walking her dog because she's a little fearful whenever there's snow and ice. And anyway, the grumbling that goes on as we kind of talk and walk and meet each other as we walk has been pretty substantial as of the last year, because we're all pretty terrified of ice patches. And we know where they are. I don't know if you know where they are, but we certainly know where they are. Sometimes it's difficult, and you forget as you're walking that this is a bad area here, but they're all at the intersections. They're at the intersection by the tennis court, they're at the intersection where Maria fell and got 5 stitches, where the Chatham pathway meets Greenleaf. That's always a bad area. The tennis court, we call the Bermuda Triangle, it's so bad. Everybody's trying to walk in the snow rather than walk on the pathway. So, I know it's kind of moot at this point, because we seem to be going into spring, but since I missed the meeting last time, and since I promised everybody I would say something.
It's not moot because I'm guessing winter will come back, if not this year, next. So it's never a moot point.
I thought, okay, so we're talking maybe about next year, but it's been bad. And I have no idea why we can't put ice, for the icy areas, put sand down. I have no idea why we can't do that, why we're having people be terrified.
And this is,
And then when the ice is there and there's even a light snowfall, we used to have brushes on the trucks that sort of removed just the light snowfall so you could see the ice patches. We don't do that anymore. I have no idea why. Like I said, we don't remove snow on weekends at all. And last year, especially, there were 2 really bad storms over the weekend, which really put you behind the 8 ball for the next, I don't know how many days. I don't remember, to tell you the truth. But anyway, if you needed to see it, I could try to go to these people and get their complaints, but nobody wanted to complain except to each other. So I thought, okay, I'm coming.
we appreciate your comment. I actually like to ask Executive Director Fujru to.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with your you had spoken to one of our staff members, Janet, I think, after late January, because we did move our board meeting from the 4th Thursday to the 3rd Thursday because we were all at a national conference. So for your benefit in the future, I would just suggest go to our website because we do have a list of all the 2019 or 2020 dates. But Peterson Park is on our list of parks that we plow, but we do have a priority, and we list that on our website of where we go. And our priority is to get our buildings plowed first, this building and our Lakeview Fitness Center, because people use it at 5:30 in the morning, and then we have a special recreation association building at Hartman. And so our park staff are hitting those 3 facilities first and foremost whenever we have to do snow removal. So parking lots are a priority. Paths are not at the top of the priority. And the paths that we do in terms of priority are Century Park, and then we hit Grosse Pointe and Deer Path Park, which are our community parks. Peterson Park falls a little bit further down on the list in terms of what I'll call the pecking order of when we get guys out there. I do beg to differ with you. We do work Saturdays and Sundays. Our crews work 7 days a week. We don't dismiss it just because it's a weekend. They work weekends. That's all I'm telling you. Okay? Yeah. I can assure you, I signed the timesheets. We do have staff out there on Saturdays and Sundays. The incident that you're probably referring to is in late January, we had a significant ice storm come. It was on the 24th of January. It was a Friday. And we had staff out there on Friday, but our priority was to get our buildings ready for that Saturday. We had staff on all through Saturday, but then the ice came, and there's nothing we can do. We can't put vehicles on the path when it's a sheet of ice.
Can you put sand on the ice?
That's a question for Rick, but it's probably not a real good practice for us to put sand on our paths. I don't know if you want to respond to that, Rick, as our foreman.
Just sand has never been something that's been utilized as a anti-slip agent in any of our parks, parking lots, pathways. We only salt certain parking lots, but sand has not been a element that's been utilized in the past or.
Why won't you consider that? When I tell you so many people are really injuring themselves, why won't you?
Well, I guess it's no. I mean, I guess to your point of if I'm not going to argue your point in terms of if people are injured, they should say something to us. Give us a call. We can fill out accident reports. But this is the first we're hearing of it from you. that we've heard of any injuries on any of our paths. Because we have people that, you know, in our parks all the time, that if they fell or if there was an injury of some sort, they bring it to our attention, and we have a safety committee. We go out and we assess every single situation or incident that comes before us. So this is the first we're hearing of this tonight.
Well, I don't think they necessarily wanted to bring it to you, but it is happening.
Well,
Appreciate your bringing it to our attention. I would encourage you to pass back, if you could do this from the board, pass back to them that please come forward with it, because if there is a problem and we don't know there's a problem, we can't fix the problem.
But you're just sort of dismissing it.
We're not dismissing it at all. Trust me.
no, I'm just trying to,
What, how do you believe we're dismissing it?
I think I sort of, I just heard that we're not gonna consider sand, where I'm saying.
I never said, no, I didn't say we wouldn't consider sand, I just said it is not an element that we've utilized in managing, and so within the park, so it's not a dismissing of it, it's just that it has not been utilized up to this point.
Which is why I'm bringing it up.
Right, so we may have to look at it. The challenge we have is that those paths are fairly narrow for vehicles.
Right.
Okay? To bring sand out there, we need to put it on a vehicle. And if it's very icy, those vehicles slide off and do damage to the parks.
You bring the trucks through anyway, because there's,
not if there's ice on them,
there's.
because they end up hurting the turf along the sides, and that's why they try to stay off it when there's ice. That particular weekend that you're referring to.
What are you saying?
Not dismissing you in any way, shape, or form. It's something we have to look at. Okay? We will put somebody on it. As you said, for this year, it may be a moot point, hopefully, because, you know, we're hopefully past any of the bad weather that's gonna cause this. But it's absolutely something we need to look at, and we'll discuss internally. We'll put it by the safety committee. And if we need to do something to put sand or something like that in an area, we're not opposed to that. Again, we don't know what we don't know. So we rely on the residents to come forward and tell us, hey, do you know this is happening?
I'll tell you, the other residents said I'd be silly to come.
Why don't we just say we don't use sand, but we can look at using something else?
Again, we can't do something about something we don't know is a problem.
I can make your list of where the really bad spots are,
That'd be a great start.
or take photos or whatever, because I don't know that you even know. I
That-
really don't.
That would be a great
I think
start.
that's what he just said.
If
You
we
know,
don't,
I
Janet,
mean,
I
that's what he
would
just
be,
said, is that we don't know until somebody tells us. So if you would be willing to do that, that'd be great.
I'd be
Yeah,
willing.
that'd be great.
that'd be
So we're
great.
certainly not dismissing you. That's why we're asking you to help us.
I would be more than happy, Janet, to meet you out there.
Names too.
I'd be more than happy to meet you out there and walk the site. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
I think the maintenance people know. I know George has commented on it when he actually saw Judy Rowe fall and not be unable to get down.
Okay.
George knows this.
I'm gonna give you my card, okay? And please call me, and I'd be happy to meet you out there to walk the site, okay?
Please consider it though. We're really upset about it.
thank you very much. Truly appreciate it. All right, next item on the agenda, we're going back to reports and communication. Finance and HR Superintendent Marla DeSico. Marla?
Good evening. So our current registration software is Max Galaxy, and Max Galaxy was bought by Active, and Active has their own, oh, Dave, don't say that. They have software that's used by many park districts, and they have a lot of upgrades that Max Galaxy does not have. I don't know what your experience has been with it, that you're shaking your head. But we had a demonstration, and they have an excellent, we think that the part used by the customer, that interface is much better than Max Galaxy and gives our customers a much better experience. And because of the setup of their organization, they're really trying to encourage us to move to ActiveNet, which is a more expensive software, but they're offering it to us at Max Galaxy prices. So we're seriously looking at it. based on your response. Certainly would like to get your feedback. But just to say it's something that we're seriously looking at making a change. It wouldn't happen right away. I don't even know that it would happen in the next year, but in approximately a year, and until we can find that right window of time where we wouldn't be busy and brochures, and it's a hard thing to time to make a change like that. We have processed our W-2s, went out early in January. We did 411 this year. And ACA reporting is almost complete. Our 1095 forms will go out tomorrow. And then I want to welcome Kathy Murphy. She's our newest full-time employee. She's a child care teacher working in the infant room. She comes to us with 25 years of experience in the education field, most recently at the Zion Elementary District 6, and she holds a master's degree in education from DePaul. So we've got some great teachers. And that's all, unless you have a question.
Any questions for Marla? Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry.
Question. Marla, do we prepare any 1099 forms?
We do. We do for those over that $600 mark for payables for businesses, yes.
Do we have any people that are employees that we're giving them, preparing W-2s, paying payroll taxes, that could legally be shifted to a 1099 to reduce our payroll tax liability and reporting liability?
We always evaluate that because for a lot of people who want to do their own business, the problem is either they're not insured or, there's certain requirements we have to have based for the Park District as well as our liability insurance company. So I know Tom always works with vendors, and sometimes they may want to be a vendor, but we can't accept them as one, and we have to put them on payroll because they really aren't set up as a business. But where we can, it's always something that we look to do.
Any other questions for Marla? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is Recreation Superintendent Tom Ritter. Tom?
Good evening. I've got some February, March, and April events to tell you about. Hopefully this is posted, this board meeting, in time. But this Saturday, as Jeff mentioned, is our craft beer tasting event. It's from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Sullivan Center. Admission is $35 at the door. We're up to 24 breweries this year, of which 11 have representatives at the event, which is great. The more we can get, the more information they can provide to our guests. So last year, one of our spouse of one of our staff brought some table games. They're really into old games and board games, and it was a very big hit. So we're actually going to have 12 tables set up in the gym with unique tabletop games for our guests to play while they're sampling their beers, which is going to be great. In addition, we're going to have shuffleboard there. It's a new program we've been starting this winter, spring, and so that vendor is going to come out and bring out the shuffleboards, another thing to promote for our guests. So there'll be a lot to do, and then live music will be performed by Dizzy Edge, which is a local band. In March, our mother-son special event called You're My Superhero will be taking place on March 20th. It's a Friday night here at the Sullivan Center. This is where the kids are encouraged to dress up as their favorite superhero. There's dancing, there's ice cream, games. Currently, we're in the neighborhood of 150 enrollees, and that should be filling soon. So anyone who's interested, please register as soon as possible. And 2 April events, it seems a little far off, but they will, one of them definitely will fill. Our Hoppin' Holiday Hunt annual event takes place on Saturday, April 4th from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Sullivan Center. This is where they get to go do egg hunts in different age groups. We have a continental breakfast that's included with your registration, pictures with the bunny, and there's always an entertainer, which this year is a balloon show. Last year, the night before, which is going to be Friday, April 3rd at 7 o'clock, we'll be having a Kids Castle Dragon Egg Hunt. So this is for kids ages 8 to 12. They pretty much show up with a flashlight, and when it's dark, we let them go find the eggs on the playground. And it sold out last year with 100 kids, so we're expecting the same thing this year. So that's a little bit older kids on Friday night, and then Saturday morning is more for the younger kids as far as the egg hunts are concerned. Both will sell out. And Active.com, as Marla just referenced, is one of the ways you can sign up for our annual Loop the Lakes 5K run and walk. This year's Loop the Lakes will be on April 25th over at Century Park. Again, you can register with us online or through Active. It's a 9 a.m. run. We usually end up with around 200 participants, depending on the weather. Immediately after that event, we go over to the island shelter at Century Park and have our annual family kite fly. And that event is free. If you need a kite, we have them available for purchase. I know Marla was nice enough one year to volunteer to do this event, and instead of having like 25 or 50, 150 showed up. So you had your hands full that year. So depending on the weather, we usually have a great turnout with the kites flying in the air. As spring approaches, adult softball leagues registration will be taking place starting March 18th for resident teams. The whole registration period lasts about a month, and by April 15th, we hit our deadline. Adult leagues start play in mid-May. Information will be available beginning March 4th, which is next week, regarding those leagues. These are men's and co-ed softball leagues. For residents, our community gardens will be available via lottery starting March 3rd, and that lottery lasts until March 31st. If there are any slots available, their plots will become available. They will be available beginning April 8th for people that either missed the lottery or are non-residents. For those that don't know, our garden plots are located at Century Park near the boat dock shelter. What's the name of the road by the shop? Having a brain freeze. Indianwood, thank you. Indianwood Road and Hartman Park. Now is also the time to purchase your Family Aquatic Center pool passes. They are discounted 10% through April 30th. And just remember, if you're ever debating whether you should get a pool pass or not get a pool pass pretty much pays for itself in 7 visits. So if you're going to go just 7 times over the whole course of the summer, it's worth getting a pass. If not, you can always come on daily admissions. We open Memorial Day weekend. And finally, camp registration also begins next week. And for those that haven't participated recently, last year was the first year we offered camp in weekly sessions. Gives you the maximum flexibility in case you have other plans or other things you want to do. But each week is a separate session. Our camp season this year begins the week of June 8th, and it runs through July with 2 what we call last blast camps, kind of bonus weeks that are in the beginning of August for those that need it. Camp typically runs from 9 to 3, and if you need extended care, we have it available from 6:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Commissioner Kessler?
Just a quick question. The craft beer event, the proceeds go to our scholarship fund?
That's a good question. I'm thinking. I don't think so. Not for that event. We have a couple special events like Rib Fest and Loop the Lakes. Proceeds go to the scholarship fund. This one, there's no designation for the proceeds.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tom. Next item on the agenda is Parks Foreman, Rick Croza.
In regards to the United States flag, the Vernon Hills Park District is on an emailing list directly from either the Governor's Office of Illinois or the Office of the White House in regards to lowering the U.S. flag. Lowering the flag directives come straight from one of these entities and none other. If there are any questions regarding actions of lowering or not lowering the flag, please contact James Kim, Park Superintendent. Regarding dog owners, it is the Village of Vernon Hills and the Vernon Hills Park District's ordinance to keep dogs on a leash at all times. Please respect that other dog patrons may not enjoy dogs as others. Keep dogs under control at all times. In addition, please remove any waste that is left behind by your dog. All of our parks have several waste dog bag stations and waste receptacles for use. Please keep our parks clean and pick up after your dog. Ice rink and sledding. Ice making started February 7th with the installation of the liner on the basketball court at Century Park North. The ice rink was ready for skating February 15th. We had approximately 7 days of skatable ice. We plan to evaluate ice capabilities from this point on. Although air temperatures may be suitable for ice, the position of the sun and the additional daylight hours every day were proved to be challenging. Please check our hotline and website for daily updates. And we did just try flooding some more yesterday, and it is not freezing very well. The sled hill has been open for 13 days this year. This past snowstorm The week of February 10th did not produce enough snow to sled on, nor did yesterday's. Snow on the north face of the hill was blown off due to the high winds coming in from the north. Wooden park signs, if you notice some park signs missing, staff have been pulling them to be painted in our maintenance shop. Currently, we're working on the large double-sided sign at Lake Charles Park. Thus far this winter, we have painted the following signs, 2 of them at Sullivan Woods, 1 of them at Sugar Creek, 3 of them in Grosse Pointe, and 1 in Deer Path. Kitty Corral Park. The section of playground at Kitty Corral in the north end is due for replacement. Temporary fencing has been installed to keep park patrons from entering the construction area. Demolition of this site part of the playground has commenced this week, and actually we completed demolition today and is prepared for installation. Delivery of the playground equipment is scheduled for tomorrow morning, and the playground installer is expected to start as soon as we are completed, which is now. And there's talk of next week of starting to begin the installation. And depending on the weather and availability of wood chips for safety servicing, we anticipate the playground to be open by mid-March. And that's pretty much what I've got.
Any questions for Rick?
I do have
Commissioner Blue, or Commissioner Robbins, I'm sorry.
The ice making that you spoke about at the rink, you started February 7th.
Yes.
Okay, why not prior to that?
We honestly did not have consistently cold enough temperatures to make ice. Frost typically has to be driven deeper into the ground to freeze the ground, and the best ice making temperatures are usually in the single digits for about 4 to 5 days straight on without bouncing back up into the 30s and 40s. And winters are becoming more and more difficult to make ice as the temperatures keep bouncing around. Even last year's polar vortex that came through, we were back up in the 40s a couple days later. So,
Does it make sense to start that late?
Well, we could start, we have the rink ready to go right before the holidays in December. So, as Rick alluded to, we just had the temperatures that just haven't been conducive. As you said, you need a good 4-day stretch of, teens for it to, freeze enough that we can get a good base and keep it. So.
We've got the walls up, we've got the liners ready to go, but.
Yeah, unless you can start predicting the weather out
Yeah.
a month in advance, you just gotta deal with it as it comes.
Yep.
And what we found is putting the liner in ahead of time and flooding it ahead of time just leads to kids messing with it, breaking it up, and generally starts to rip the liner. And liners are not cheap, so.
Expensive.
Yeah, to protect the investment on them and try to play out the timing the best. It's really odd to have ice this late, because usually Valentine's Day is usually the cutoff date. But the season is odd.
Right, and in 2 days, it'll be 56 degrees, so.
Exactly, and it'll be gone, it'll be a swimming pool.
Thank you, Rick. Next item on the agenda, Facility Manager Joe Zimmerman. Joe?
Good evening. Just start with some membership statistics for this past January. As of the end of January 2020, we had 2,110 active members. All our membership visits, personal training sessions, and group fitness attendance were all up compared to the previous January in 2019. Some aquatic notes. Turtle swim team season is wrapping up at the end of February. Also, they have 1 swimmer who qualified for state in 8 events and also qualified for nationals in 7 events so far. Some Lakeview fitness notes. Tomorrow is the last day of our membership survey. To date, we've had just about 230 responses. From the results and the responses of the survey, we can figure out our net promoter score, our hopefully potential equipment needs, and overall improvements our facility can make based on that feedback. We'll also be able to determine what our strengths and weaknesses are, so we can better position ourselves in a crowded market and improve where we are perceived to be deficient. If you are attending the craft beer tasting on Saturday, please stop by our table and pick up a free Lakeview koozie. And finally, our member of the month is Uma Bellum. She has been a member at Lakeview Fitness since we opened. She loves the facility, instructors, and staff. Thanks, Uma, for being a part of the community. And that's it, if there's any questions.
Any questions for Joe? Rick, I got one question for you. I couldn't remember it until just now. You mentioned the first time you mentioned about flag regulations, that we take the information directly from the state and from the federal. Can individual people sign up for that?
That would be a question for James Kim.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is marketing and communication. Cheryl Buman. Cheryl?
Good evening. By now, all residents should have received their spring-summer guide in their mailboxes. Resident registration begins March 10th. Non-resident begins, March 3rd for residents, March 10th for non-residents. Our skate park art barrier project is a project that the Vernon Hills High School Art Club, 11 students have volunteered from the art club to design and then later paint the barriers that are going to be placed near the skate park. So their designs are due to myself on March 20th, and then staff will review their designs to make sure they're fine, and then we'll proceed when the weather gets better for all of their painting time, and it will all be supervised by parks and staff here when the kids are painting their art barrier. So we're excited to see what that's going to look like. We're going for the gold, I'm sure you know, but we're working on the gold medal application. It's due March 27th. Just a little fun thing we're doing to promote our child care program and our preschool program. The 4-year-olds in our preschool program and the 3- and 4-year-olds in our child care program all will be receiving little stuffed Sully bears. They look like our mascot, and they have little shirts that say child care and preschool. And they're all taking them home over spring break. And the parents have a letter that they'll be receiving, and they're gonna, it's like the adventures of Sully. They're getting a big postcard that we created, and they're gonna write about their adventure. We even have a Sully email, and the parents will be sending photos during the week that we'll be posting on social media, and hopefully we'll bring some more awareness to our 2 programs. So that's fun. The kids will probably really enjoy that. We've begun, maybe you've seen some of our Lakeview fitness tutorials on Facebook and even Instagram. We've had an increase in our engagement on Instagram due to mostly the tutorials. So we're going to continue those. Cassidy and Joe's team are working together on that. We also have something new we're offering this year to our season pass holders at the Family Aquatic Center. After you purchase the adults only a season pass, you have opportunity to buy a discounted 15 punch pass to Lakeview Fitness to use during the summer. These would be for people who don't know much about Lakeview, would like to try it out, and hopefully we can turn some of those people into members at the end of the summer. And that's my report for the evening.
Any questions for Cheryl? Next item on the agenda, Commissioner and Committee reports and communication. Being there's none. Board correspondence, we have none. We will move to new business. The Vernon Hills Athletic Complex Turf Agreement. Could I have a motion to approve the license agreement between the Village of Vernon Hills, the Vernon Hills Park District, SMP Development, LLC, and the Vernon Hills Soccer Club for the use of fields 10, 11, and 12 at the Vernon Hills Athletic Complex?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the 2020-2021 salary classification recommendation. Could I have a motion to approve the 2020-2021 salary classification recommendation?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes, next item on the agenda is the VHCBS affiliate renewal. Could I have a motion to approve the renewal of the Vernon Hills Community Baseball Softball Affiliation Agreement?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Moline.
No, thank you.
Commissioner Robbins?
Nothing this evening.
Commissioner Kessler?
Nothing.
And I have nothing. Could I have motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes, we are adjourned.